Another week, YouTube. We're down a man, just me and Mr. R today. Bacon has abandoned us, but that's all fine. We're back. We've got another episode to talk about. Um, a less eventful episode, maybe. A shorter discussion this will lead to, maybe. But before we get into all that, we got to introduce Mr. R.
Hello, everyone. It is too early in the morning, as per usual. But I'm still happy to be here. Not skipping out like some people.
Like some people. We talked about the delay a little bit. I don't know if it's worse today, but chat, you'll have to deal with it. I feel like there's like 2 seconds, and then you hear what I said, and then you come in. But fuck it. We'll keep on. So do you want? We'll do our few sentence recap of what we thought real quick. You can go first.
I mean, I'm not really sure what I thought. Like, it was the one chapter, and after like the last few weeks of action-packed sort of pulse-pounding stuff, it was almost felt a little bit muted. Like it was fine. There was nothing. I guess there was nothing super special about it. The Annie stuff was quite well done, though. I'll say that.
I think that is the stand. I think that's the standout bit of the chapter overall. I actually did skim through the chapter because I wanted to check if in the chapter Annie's father explicitly hits Annie, which I could not find. Now maybe I went over it too far, but we'll get into that, I'm sure. But I did generally like the Annie stuff in the episode. I don't know, I feel like I like the slower pacing. I talked about that a lot in our first few episodes. We did go very fast for a little while, though. I think this season has always been pretty good with the pace.
We've had a few sort of one chapter per episode recently. This being the big thing.
There wasn't any recap this week, right?
No, I don't think there was. Miller's also made a good point that it played the ED song but without any lyrics, and it actually works really well as the ending.
Oh yeah, that's like a tropey thing to do in anime. I feel like I like it every time. They've done an Attack on Titan before at for the last episodes. They usually do that. Oh, not usually. I remember they did it specifically in season 1, where Owen gives a speech about how it wasn't all useless, and then obviously we had the post-credit Titan wall reveal. Trying to think of the other seasons to do that. I don't really remember the endings of the other seasons.
There was one that happened mid-season as well. There was one that happened in season 4, part 1, with just before Reiner gets led to Eren as well. So it ends with I think the credits stop playing and Reiner's like dragging Gabby, who's eaten too much at the festival.
I think that's more specifically a post-credit scene, though this episode had both. It had like the credits were a scene and not the actual ED video, but then it also had the post-credit scene.
Which is exactly what that episode I was on about did as well. It's when they have too much to cram into one episode.
Yeah, so it's not like nothing was covered. Like, they used more time than they usually would to cover stuff. It's just a bit slower. I mentioned like there's not that many people in chat right now, and there wasn't many people engaging with my tweets. Now it might just be because I did them later in the day than in the morning, where I sometimes done them in previous weeks. But I think that might reflect what we're talking about a little bit about how it's. I don't think anybody's like complaining this was like a bad episode or anything. It's just not one of the. It's not like the Ymir one or the Eren speed, which is the same episode.
There's like
the Gabby one or anything where it's like everybody's got to talk about it immediately.
Yeah, we've had some of like the big episodes, like the big sort of shock stuff, or the big sort of action set pieces, and this is it's just a little muted as a result, I guess, is probably the feeling.
Speaking of muted a little bit, what a great transition from myself. But I realized, and I can't believe I didn't realize, and I can't believe you didn't correct me on this, neither did Bacon, but the reason why it's all red and stuff is because it's at sunset, not because of the rumbling. I feel like I said that last week, and maybe even the week before. I was like, oh, I really like how the rumbling is going to be all red, because I don't know why I thought that. But I forgot that in the next episode and in the next chapter, we have the shot of everybody like sleeping, their final sleep before the late climax and things like that. Actually, I think it's night around the campfire, so that would be another day.
I mean, I guess I get that
night.
Kind of, but at the same time, the transition was very sudden, so I still maintain
Yeah,
that like artistically the direction I think they went was that it was partly because of the
maybe.
rumbling, but at the same time, yes, the episode is called and the chapter is called Sunset, I guess.
Oh,
But
I didn't even find. I
but I guess it's
didn't even
harder to
see that.
convey
It's
that
literally on my screen.
in
Yeah.
the manga. Like the manga, this chapter kind of suggests that it's been a wee while now since everything happened. There's just that many
Yeah.
Colossus Titans that it's or Wall Titans that it's taking that long for them to file out. But I assume that this chapter was when the sun was starting to go down, which is why it's even redder, I would say.
Yeah.
But like
Yeah, it
the
definitely
thing
was
is it's
redder.
still a different tint of red than we've seen previously. Like normally when it's sunset, I'm pretty sure when it's
Yeah.
sunset it's more of an orangey hue in the even in the show and even in Mappa's variant. So I think the red is still a very deliberate rumbling.
Yeah. The fuck, I was gonna. Oh, what I was going to say is we basically started going chronologically here, but it was interesting at the beginning of the episode. They had like a. It's probably not. This is probably not where they get it from, but it's just the only thing I've seen that also did this. The sort of. I think they started this in Civil War, but the Avengers thing of having like where they are in bold white letters on the screen. They said Tross District. Now, why is Hitch and Tross?
Yeah, that I thought that was a
Do you
little.
remember?
Yeah, that's really weird considering the chapter explicitly says Stoas. I think that might have just been a mistake
Yeah.
because why would she be in Trost and then go all the way to Stoas? That's like weird. That's wild.
Yeah.
I guess maybe
I think they.
I
No,
think they
it
either
had to
messed
be.
it up or they either messed it up. They assumed the audience would have forgotten what Stoas is, or perhaps they thought Trost is where there'd be more damage, but there'd be damage everywhere. So
But why would Annie be in? Unless you are saying that like Hitch then heads back, but that has to take like a day or something. Like
the
that's a
only
whole
other
wall they have
the
to
only
travel.
other explanation I can think of is that they've kind of moved where Annie is in the show to make the time jump feel less sudden.
I guess the time fucks up either way, huh? Because they have to travel all the way, and it's still kind of sunsetty the whole journey. Though we
Hmm.
could just be seeing the beginning of the journey. Because the time kind of works in the manga because they don't meet Armin until Armin is back with Gabby and Falco and Connie.
Yeah,
So I guess the time makes sense.
that's the next day, isn't
In the
it?
manga at least. Yeah.
But I
Yeah,
guess
because I think they sleep.
going from the interior all the way to Shiganshina, because it's Shiganshina that they meet up,
Stoas is
isn't it?
Stoas is there, yeah.
Stoas is the
I guess
southern
it doesn't really make sense
or the
either way,
eastern.
yeah.
Yeah.
But in the manga, I guess it makes a little more sense. It makes perfect sense in the anime if we just assume they fucked up and didn't put Stohess and accidentally put Trost.
Hmm. I mean, I'm more just thinking because of like the amount of time it would take Hitch and Annie to ride to wherever. It makes more
Yeah.
sense if they're in Tross because like the distance between the walls is pretty significant. It takes a very long time.
Yeah. Oh fuck, I had something, but then it left me. Oh, you'd think they would double check if this is like the first time they're doing the title screen thing. You'd think they'd want to get it right. So
I mean, I think the
maybe.
decision
I
to make
wonder
it Tross was deliberate because the manga just flat out says Stoas District. I think that was a deliberate choice.
Yeah.
There's no way that can be a mistake.
the It's interesting because it felt very. I don't know. It's just because of the fucking Avengers movies, I guess. But it felt very movie-like to me. I was like, "Oh, are we gonna be doing this in the movie? Are we getting the movie? Movie? Question mark? Movie?" But yeah. Doesn't Armin find Annie eating in Trost? Miller is asking. You'd think. Wait, because Rokugo is inside,
Oh,
so I
that's a fair
guess
point.
Annie
Yeah,
would end up in Trost, and that's where they'd find her. I guess that makes sense.
but at the same time, though, they then go all the way to Shiganshina together to kick Reiner away and
important.
tell him they're off to save the world. Because Reiner's in Shiganshina
It's
just
not
now.
Yeah. I guess they could, like, in the manga, they could be, like, day jumps between certain scenes at the end of the next chapter. Which is not impossible. Because I don't think, like, at any point they say, oh, it's been, like, this many days since the walls crumbled. Because it kind of, I guess we're just overanalyzing the time thing, but I don't think the Colossal Titans move too fast. Though I guess maybe they could, just because they're big doesn't mean they're slow, though it kind of does. We are told that Bertold is really slow because
They're
I don't
slow,
know.
but people still
Are we
can't
running into a
people still can't outrun them purely because of
yeah? People still can't run
the
them.
size of their steps. So they do travel a big distance,
Yeah,
but they're not like super speedy.
yeah. Well, I guess a bunch of people do retreat to like that cliff face and end up falling into the sea to die. I think we are gonna run into a brick wall if we keep thinking about timing.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was an interesting thing. We've never seen them do like a title screen like that in Attack on Titan, but they did it here. So we get the civilians sort of internally arguing. I don't know if I got this as much in the chapter, but they definitely in the episode play up like future wars if the rumbling succeeds and like entirely wipes out all of humanity. They are kind of setting up here the point that like this isn't going to cause like peace for
Mhm.
everybody that's left. I don't know if Eren hoped that. He probably didn't, but I guess it's just the most immediate external threat to him
I mean, I
because
don't
we
believe
set
for
it
a
up here and
second.
then later we talk about the other shifters and a potential second like shifter war or whatever, and that's why Armin wants to save Gabby and things like that.
I mean, I don't believe for a second that Eren thought about anything really.
Yeah.
What's
um
someone Tur3 is saying it's a mistake, it's Stoas Blu-ray fixed baby. As in like is it an actual translation mistake? Is it meant to say Stoas on screen and the translators just called it Dross for some reason?
I think he's just saying that he assumed it's also an issue, like it was a fuck up, and that they'll fix it in the Blu-ray.
Yeah.
Um,
Because the place they go, like the building that they're in, is the building that Zackley was in, which is in Stoas district. But yeah,
did I?
I think so.
Because Hitch was there.
That's where Hitch
Um,
was generally in charge of. There'd be no point for her being in Trost. Trost has its own group. Hitch is an
More
MP
people probably.
stationed in Stoas, but yeah. A little change the anime made
Yeah.
to the scene that you've got up, actually. Let me just get it up as well. I just realised that you've been talking away and I've not been showing chat the same scenes.
Oh yeah.
Is that section, that little bit is it's outside in the manga, but they decided to put it inside like a chapel or something in the anime,
Oh yeah, they did.
which I guess makes a bit more sense than just having a bunch of bodies lying out in the open street with all the filth, but and debris and
Mm.
stuff.
It felt big reference for chat. It felt very Pain Attack in Naruto, where we get the Sakura, who has a very similar haircut to Hitch, kind of. The Sakura scenes of her looking after the hospital, and they have to get because the whole town gets. It's like a similar thing. The whole town gets blown up or whatever. It doesn't matter. Made me think of that. I'm sure somebody else in chat thought of that too, but I don't think Mr. R is a Naruto boy.
I'm not a Naruto boy.
Nearly said,
So
unfortunately not. But yeah. Then I guess anything else to say about this thing before we get to the Annie appearance?
uh, I don't think so. I think it's basic. I think it was very similar, actually. I think it was very similar. Again,
Yeah.
like because they only
I
did
didn't
one
even.
chapter, they were able to go fairly word for word.
Yeah, yeah. Um, I didn't even notice the inside outside change. So yeah. Um, there was the handle shot on the door was oddly defined. I thought that was kind of funny, but I'm just seeing that in the manga here now that I scroll down. I do like they shot this similarly in the anime too, where
Miss
Hitch opens the
Rosalind,
door
thank
and
you
you
for
can see
tuning
Annie
in. Hello, hope you're
immediately.
doing
I
good.
kind of
I'm
like
doing
that
very
as like
well,
the
thank you.
static. It's almost like a jump scare, even though it's like the antithesis of it, where like, oh, she's like right there, and you can see her, but Hitch can't. Because more so than like the fight that's coming, I think a lot of the tension is like, oh, Hitch and Annie are gonna speak to each other again,
Mm-hmm.
um, which is cool. Um, and then I'm trying to think, how close was the ring to her throat? Was it digging in like this in the manga? Because we did get some censorship later.
I don't feel like it was digging in. No, I don't think that
Yeah,
was the case. I think the manga made it a lot clearer. I'm just sort of looking at this. Sorry, again, it's funny how how short
yeah,
Annie is compared to Hitch. It's
yeah. It is. It is. The it is. I really like this shot, by the way. The one I got up and the shot of Annie's eye in this one. Pretty
yeah,
cool. At least Sam can draw.
Yeah. Who'd have known?
There's
Who'd have
something
thought?
oddly satisfying about it digging into the skin. I don't know why. Weird, but that's what I thought. There is in fact not just a close-up shot of Annie's vagina in the fucking manga, but there very, very, very much is in the anime. I didn't see. I only watched the normies' reaction. They didn't say anything about it. I don't know if everybody else just missed it. I didn't see any tweeters about it. But there is. Am I going insane here, or did this shot exist, Mr. R?
What, in the manga or in the anime?
No, in the anime. There is. When she gets flipped over, there's an immediate shot. There is no. It's like. It's just weird.
Let me see if I can. I'll get the episode up. I'll get a screenshot.
Get the episode up. I swear to God, this happened.
Oh, I need to do it on Funimation.
Crunchyroll
Crunchyroll won't let me screenshot.
It definitely won't. They got that tricky fucking. If you ever tried to, because I screen record. No, I don't. I will not admit this. Sometimes to get footage, I screen record from certain Australian streaming services that don't have like the anti-screen recording stuff. But on like Netflix and stuff, you can't record your screen in like OBS and then watch a Netflix.
Yeah, it's the fact that you can't even screenshot or snip or use the snipping tool. That's what's wild. Like, yeah. I don't care if I can't screen record because I have no need to screen record.
But yeah. But I will vamp as long as it takes for you to see this fucking shot because I guarantee it exists. I did not make it up. This is not the sick machinations of my mind. I peeped this because I think Bacon, or it might have been you, was saying like, oh, last time, in the Annie shot at the end of last episode about how it was sexualizing her a bit, because I had made the point in a previous week that Attack on Titan doesn't, like, nearly never sexualizes its characters. But it seems to always be Annie.
Oh my god. Oh my god. I'm not putting this up on screen.
It's there, isn't it?
I don't want to get banned.
I was not lying.
Oh, God.
It's like, there's almost jiggle. It's like insane.
Okay,
hold on. Let me keep it chat. I don't usually. Miller says I noticed it.
Here we go.
This is saying 10 out of 10 Annie Poontang shot single-handedly redeemed Mappa.
Oh,
I didn't know Mappa needed redeeming.
God,
there
it's
we go.
horrible. Okay, here we go. If you want, you can tune into my stream now. I've got the shot up. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, I guess I will.
This is just a shot, and it's like
it kind of works in motion. Like it looks like the fact that you didn't even notice it, and the fact it's animated very well, but like it is a hell of a fucking thing. Here we go. Oh, we got a fucking ad. It's for World's Greatest Shave. We can't be mad. Where'd it go? So weird, but not in 3.0 plus 1.0. What the fuck is Miller talking about? So it's weird now, but not in. Oh yeah, it's not weird in Ava, because Ava's hypersexualizes everything. Sexuality is a massive thing in Ava. I don't think it's weird there, and I just thought it was like odd for Attack on Titan. It was funny. Carl, watch the shot on 0.5 speed. That shit jiggles. I didn't know if I was imagining the jiggle, but I'm pretty sure there's jiggle. Jesus Christ, we are getting banned. It's fucking defined. I have the stream up now.
Yeah,
I'm like
I'm gonna get rid of that picture. I don't like having it on screen. I've had it on screen for far too long. So there you go. Picture's been closed. I don't like it.
15 years old. At least physically. See, animator was cognitive brain animating sequence. But yes. So that did exist. I was not insane.
I didn't even clock it, but now that you've said it now, oh no, I don't like it at all. Mappa, why?
It was a hell of a thing, I guess.
Yeah,
finish that thought?
I was just saying, of all the added scenes, I don't really know, to be honest. Yeah. One thing that's interesting. I've just scrolled down just a little bit. When Annie's talking about the crystal, the shot that they show is literally just her in darkness. They don't show you like in the manga. You can see like Hitch reading a newspaper and Armin sitting there looking sad as per usual.
There's another shot later, if you scroll down more, I think, of Hitch like screaming at the crystal, kind of like a crazy woman asking her why. Or maybe it is earlier.
Oh yeah, no, I can't.
I really like that shot. Yeah. Oh yeah, here it is on my screen. She looks very Devilman in facial expression here. Again, I've seen like 5 manga, so when I say things look like things, I'm being an idiot. But her face, for whatever reason, the shape of it, how her eyes looks very 1972 Devilman to me. It's not me forcing another Devilman thing, alright? It's the first thing I thought of. But
It will always be you forcing it. Everything's a Devilman reference. Everything's a Berserk reference. Let's just.
yeah. Well, Berserk is a Devilman reference, so everything's a Devilman reference. But
Is it ever confirmed or not?
there's an interesting
Still.
there's an interesting thing there's an interesting retcon in Attack on Titan, one that I'm almost certain is a retcon about this Isayama between the end of like chapter 90 to like to chapter 100. He came up with this cool fucking idea to have it so that you can cut yourself before you transform. Because I don't think anybody ever did this before Eren does it when he like waves to Reiner and shows that he's already cut himself. And Falco's like, hey, Mr. Whatever, you got to cut or something.
I guess it was kind
of...
And
then afterwards, everybody does it. It's
I guess it was kind of set up a little bit.
Disprove me. When did they do it beforehand?
Well, it's not that they chose to cut themselves, but when Mikasa basically tries to kill Reiner and Bertolt.
That is true.
They don't need to. They don't need to do anything. They just literally stand there looking at it, looking stoic and sad, respectively.
Yeah, it's a good shot.
It's a very good shot.
I guess they do transform like nearly. It feels like they're already like transforming because they do get the electricity. Now the retcon works because I don't think it doesn't contradict anything beforehand. It just kind of like, why didn't Annie cut herself like at least a little bit on the finger while she was walking around with them? I guess if we want to go into that much detail.
Okay, yeah, that is a fair point. That would have messed things up a little bit. It would have messed with the drama a little bit.
Yes, but I like that Annie even here knows to do it, so I guess it makes that what we just mentioned a little bit worse. But it's just like Annie wasn't around back then, but even she's like implementing it now. I always thought that was cute.
I think Isayama can be forgiven for not thinking about stuff back during like the female Titan.
This is not a criticism in the least. It's just something I always think about, and it's cute. I like that Annie is doing it here too. It wasn't a critique. Generally on the Hitch stuff, I really like Hitch. I think she's really cool.
Yeah, Hitch is cool.
I like that she's yawning in the final chapter and all the stuff in between. But yeah. I guess we're going right into the Annie backstory then. Now, it is expanded upon quite a bit. She's like placed outside like a manse or like a big house, and then she gets picked up by her father. Whereas in the manga, it's just like this sort of singular page of memories on a weird angle. I love Isayama and his weird panel angles. It's cool. I don't know if I've ever seen... Now, again, I've seen 3 fucking manga, but I don't remember Berserk or Devilman or FMA or anything doing, like, angular panels. They have to.
I now can't remember off the top of my head if, like, the forbidden manga that I'm not allowed to talk about does them. I actually can't even remember.
Oh no!
Now.
What are we gonna do for the piss break today? You can't talk about that thing because it's over and Bacon's not here to vamp with. I'll have to entertain my chat all by yourself.
I know. Either that or you just don't go on a piss break. That's the.
You're gonna hold it another hour. Yikes.
Listen, I don't take a break during these chats.
Listen, I got the weakest bladder in the game. All right, it's fine.
Pathetic.
So you were gonna say you can say the words Demon Slayer. You don't. Can you? Yeah. Am I going insane? Is there another manga that does these? I can't remember.
I can't think of any off the top of my head. But then again, if you'd asked me if Attack on Titan has angular panels, I probably wouldn't have remembered. I'm not an observant 9,000 IQ reader.
So we do get some expanded backstory here, at least in imagery. How do we feel about it? Particularly, I guess we'll talk about it now. The addition of the father literally hitting her, which initially I was like, but me and Miller talked about this a little bit. I think it was in the Discord. It wasn't even in DMs. But about how I think it strengthens a sort of parallel to King Fritz of sort of going with this idea of like. Loving people who are bad to you, or your abuser, or something to that effect.
Yeah, the only thing that makes it a bit uncomfortable is I think because it's a bit unclear in the manga like all we see is him being strict. We don't see him being a literal abuser. I think that means that it doesn't feel as bad. Now it's like it's kind of hard to reconcile later on when they meet up again and like the sort of him
where they,
having regret.
yeah.
I mean, I don't know. It's hard to tell.
I think it works in the episode to make him not horribly irredeemable because it's only once, and it is when they're doing martial arts training. So I guess it's not like he's beating her up
Mm-hmm.
because she didn't do the dishes or something. It doesn't seem, I don't know. In context of training like that, I guess it's a little not as bad, maybe. I don't know. The fact that she like eventually gets revenge on him in a physical way already, I think kind of moves us past like, oh, when they see each other, she's gonna beat him up and get her. He's gonna get his comeuppance.
Mm.
It seems like he already got that. It does fundamentally change how I view his character a little bit. I also the way they segmented it in the episode of like, and they do it in the manga here of having the initial flashback and then having the heartfelt one be separated. Like here, he's laughing at the end about how, oh, my legs hurt, whatever, but now we've achieved your goal. You are now a great
Yeah.
warrior, or will be.
Something
And
interesting.
then to have her, yeah, go on.
I was going to say something interesting now that I'm looking at these panels. And I think some tweaks why they changed the location because like all the flashbacks of Annie and her dad has just been like out in the fucking woods, and it looks like he lived out in the woods.
Yeah, it's true. They did put him in a different environment where there's like a wall and water in the background and things
Which
like
makes
that.
sense because they'd be confined to an internment zone.
Yeah.
He's also not being forced to wear armbands, but at the same time, like from what I understand, taken into the internment zone, was Annie originally from Liberia, or did they move there when she got into the warrior program?
I think they say even in the episode that her father is not he's a foreigner but part Eldian because they say that he's like her where she's only
Mhm.
half. It's interesting that she's half and Ryan is also half. I now that I get this, is there a line at some point in the manga, or it might be in like a data book or something that says like Annie grew up in the mountains or something? I
Yeah,
feel like there might be something like
I just
that,
feel
but
like
yeah,
perhaps
again, like
Annie
the
isn't
change
from
might.
Liberio. I think, or isn't originally from Liberio. She'll have been in Liberio. Obviously, her family will have moved there. Her and her dad will have moved there when she got into the warrior
Yeah,
program. But I think prior to that, she was in a different internment zone because where they were training and where they lived looked very different from
yeah.
Liberio. At
I
least to me, it did.
if yeah, if we were to assume it is Liberio, it does seem like it's on the edge of like the wall, so that's why it might look a little different. But yeah, I think it might make. I'm trying to think because there is this scene. I think this actually isn't in the anime, but there is a shot or like a page in the manga in Grish's flashback where like all the Eldians where they announce the warrior program. Um, and I can't remember if they say specifically this is like only Liberia or this is all Eldians.
Well, I don't
Uh,
know because Udo came from a different zone as part of his
he
training.
did, and he would have moved there probably because of the warrior program.
Yeah.
Um, so
Like
yeah,
it would
maybe
feel
you're
wild
right.
for them to not expand to all of to like a wider reach of their empire.
Yeah.
I think.
Um, but yeah, I think that is a possibility. Um,
It's just as well because they
there's
weren't wearing
there's a
armbands, and I
separate.
wonder if that's a Liberio thing. Inclusive. Sorry, I
Yeah,
interrupted.
yeah. In the manga here, where they are in the forest, I guess that nobody's around to see him not wearing armbands, so they may as well take him off. Because Annie has always like Annie is not Reina. She was not like or Gabby or like how they used to be, where she's very much into Marley. It's very evident even at the beginning of the mission that she's just doing this to get back to her father, and her father only wanted to do this. Um, to make his life better or whatever. So it's not like loyalty to like brainwashed loyalty like Gabby and Reiner. So them like not seeing the importance of the armband, I guess. I guess that does make sense. This motif of her stepping on things, obviously she steps on the bug here, Petra meme or Mao. It is a little motif with Annie's character. I think again, we talk about this every week, I feel like, but the anime makes things more obvious. I think it only just clicked in my head that, like, oh, this kind of represents that she doesn't really care about people. And, like, part of Annie's arc is sort of learning to care because she's always been, like, this standoffish, um, sort of lone soldier type person. And in this monologue, she sort of runs through the like, oh, I care about my father, which means people care about each other, and it sort of evolves from there in the coming chapters. Um, but I feel like before today, I would have been like, what's that? Why does Annie step on the bug thing? Because I remember talking about this a lot. But I think that is what it means. It's sort of like her disregard, and then her regret at that disregard later. Because she does say at some point in this monologue that like she's irredeemable and like nothing, she can't do anything to be forgiven. Any thoughts on any of this?
Yeah, there we go. It's literally, and I have a father waiting for me, and others have people just as important to them. I used to not care about anything, but it's different now. I think I've committed irredeemable sins, but if it meant returning to my father, I'd do it all over again.
Yeah. And the shot of the father and the kid here. Never peeped that before, probably because I was scrolling through the manga pages too fast, but obviously in the anime that was made a lot more obvious. I liked all the shots of the horse, by the way. I thought the horse animation was clever, especially when they did this long shot with the kid and the dad here, and they went off in like the distance, like kind of faster. A little difference that I don't think I will remember come when the scene comes up. But I think this was similar in... Oh, fuck, I'll do this first. Connie and Falco at the end, in the manga, they flip it. One of them's at the front and one of them's at the back, and they flipped it in the anime and the manga, and I just thought that was a little dumb thing I noticed, but we'll get to that later. I've always, I feel like a big effect this chapter had on me is sort of the way Annie sits on the horse, where she's sort of sideways looking off, and Hitch is like face forward riding. I don't know, I feel like that's a very Annie little bit of characterization that I like.
Yeah, I feel like they had to switch that because I just don't think you could sit that way whilst maintaining the kind of speed the horse was going at in the anime.
Yes. It, especially in motion, it doesn't very much work. But yeah, the two little differences I noticed. But that wraps it up for our Annie Hitch stuff. Do we have anything else we want to say before we move on to the next part?
I don't have anything in particular. Hitch is cute, I guess.
She certainly fucking is. Then we get the Mr. Leonhardt scene. It is a little longer again in the anime. Him remembering Annie just as she's just remembered him to motivate him to do something. I really like the kinetic energy in the final panel of. I used it on 15 fucking last minute prediction slides. This particular panel of the guard and him grabbing the gun, I think it is very kinetic and good. They do an interesting thing, and I guess this isn't the manga now that I look at it, because the sound effect is at the bottom of the page where there is no panel, but they do cut to like black and then have the gunshot to sort of try to create some mystery there. But yeah,
it's the fact that happens twice to Annie's dad in the manga.
Yeah, that does happen at the very end. Well, not the very end, but at the very end. I think that was one of the last things I remember complaining about with Attack on Titan was the predictability of that other gunshot going off cutaway. What a wild time it was back in the day. But anything particularly to say about this Mr. Leonhardt scene?
I feel like they made it much more clear in the anime that Annie was crying as well. Like, you can see it if you look at the manga, but it's like a single tear welling up. Whilst I think the anime made it a lot more explicit.
I feel like it might just be because I'm an Annie simp, but I remember feeling like, oh, she obviously very much loves her father, even back like in season 1. So I don't know if that necessarily is a thing that has to be hit on. I guess you do have to hit on it more after he literally hit her in the episode, which doesn't really happen in the manga, but...
yeah, I think that's fair.
Fuck, I forgot something I was going to say. It was going to be the most poignant, smartest thing you ever heard, but alas, it has left me. Fuck, it had something to do with Annie. I was looking at this face. I give up. It's gone forever. Oh, then we get the best scene in the manga. Glasses dude getting his orders to save the world.
You're obsessed.
Anne isn't here, but I will continue to maintain until the day I die. Glasses Boy is the one at the end. He's leading the armies. He's infiltrated. This scene sets it up. I remember discovering this scene again. I don't know if somebody in chat told me, but I had completely forgotten this scene existed. And then I think it was after the final chapter came out, somebody linked this to me, and I was like, "Oh fuck! They set it up. They set that shit up." Unless you just don't think it happened.
Well, I mean, we see that
It's only
parody
2 pages here.
Well, parody goes on its own course of destruction at the end, especially with the extended chapters. We see parody getting bombed into oblivion.
Oh yeah, my save the world meme. That part's a joke, but he like the Jaeger. In the tentative sense, I'm pretty sure Armin convinces him at the end because Glasses Dude and Hitch are all in positions of power. But yes, eventually, like 100 or more years later, the world is not saved. That part was
yeah.
That part's not true, but everything else is true. Damn it. But anyway, it is interesting. This is only 2 fucking pages. There is a lot of dialogue, so obviously that lengthens it in the anime form. It is cool that Shardis gets continues, and he will again in the future, especially with the Magarth farewell. Get some focus here. Anything particularly to say about this one?
I don't think so. I mean, I think it's a nice scene to sort of set up that this constant little reminder that Shadis is still kicking about. I'll be interested to see if they make it clear that it's Shadis watching them when they leave, like if they have to do that, or if they'll just later on, because like I think Armin explicitly says someone's watching us, and I don't think in the manga
Annie is the one that says that, but maybe I am an Annie simp. I remember everything.
Maybe it is Annie. I can't remember. I can't remember. Yeah, I'm just wondering.
He seems like the observant one.
Mm-hmm. It's nice that he's coming back into prominence enough. They have just enough sort of to focus on him, so when he shows up for his big moment, it's not completely out of the blue sort of thing.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like we do a lot of character focus at the end here. Obviously, Connie's gonna get his bit next episode. We got even the Kaya stuff. The Louise stuff will be soon.
I thought the Louise stuff was this episode. I misremembered the chapter. I wonder if they'll make it explicit that she dies. Like the manga, the manga was always a bit sort of the manga. I think even the official wiki is unclear on whether she's dead or not. I think it says presumed dead because we don't see her after that point, and she does look pretty fucking.
Yeah, she's got a fucking thing in the stomach, right?
Yeah.
She's dead.
Only Levi gets to survive shit like that.
True. Then we've got an Armin Mikasa scene. Now, Mr. R, it has become that time. You jinxed it. I think it's earlier than usual. So you're going to have to give your rundown real quick of this Mikasa scene, because you can't talk about Demon Slayer while I
mean, I can talk about the Demon Slayer manga, because I finished it.
Give a spoiler warning, and you have 2 minutes. 3, 2, 1, go.
So chat, I finished Demon Slayer last week, the manga. It's very good. In fact, it's better than very good. It's incredible. It's so wild to see the progression of a manga go from a 7 start all the way to a fucking solid 10 for the last couple of arcs. Honestly, just wild stuff. So like, I did a big thread about it on Twitter. Very brutal, like unexpected levels of sort of character death for a shonen. Maybe I haven't watched enough shonen, but the ones I have seen, usually there's only like maybe a couple of sort of token sacrifices, maybe the main character or something like that. But now the level of brutality that happens in the final arc, the final showdown, which by the way happens a lot earlier than I was expecting. Like, holy shit. When did it happen? There's 205 chapters in Demon Slayer. Chapter 140 is called The Final Battle Begins. So 65 chapters of basically just fighting, and it's incredible stuff. Like the art style took such a jump in the previous 2 arcs, that by the time this one rolls around, it's just phenomenal. So if anyone hasn't read Demon Slayer, I would recommend go reading it. Obviously, if you're watching the anime, that is cool as well, but you're going to be waiting a while because it takes a long time to animate that to that quality. And there's still the ending being copied. I haven't seen Lost. I thought the ending was fine. I thought it fit with the themes of the manga perfectly fine. Like the constant talk of the future and of rebirth. I think it worked. It was a little. It's a. I can imagine why it's a little off-putting for some folk, but I thought it was fine. To be honest, so. But I'd have been fine with it ending on the second last chapter as well. I think it would have worked on that. The thing is, I'm a big person for closure. Like, I love seeing closure for as many characters as possible, and that final chapter did, in a way, give us that a little bit more. Honestly, my perfect final chapter for any manga would be one where it literally goes through every single character in the manga, showing what happened to them. It's why I love the Return of the King's endings, because everybody gets a fucking ending in that. It's so good. I love that shit. I live for that shit. But I'm going to tell you, having finished that book, the artwork on the collector's box that I've got, let me see if I can find it real quick before Kyle gets back. Demon Slayer Collector's Edition. The artwork hits a little bit harder, let's just say.
Ooh.
I don't want to show it
Alright,
now,
we're
actually,
back.
because
It
that
took a
would be
little
spoilers.
longer.
Rings of Power trailer
Unironically,
thoughts?
'cause
I think it looks dull. That's my thought. I didn't. Nothing jumped out at me about it, but I'll probably still watch it.
Are we here? Are we good?
I think we're good.
Okay. That took longer because I unironically thought we were getting robbed.
Right.
But I think there had to be All right, we live in Australia, right? There's possums around. There was a lot of noise going on. Someone was banging into something near where I was pissing, frankly. I'm looking out the door now. That's why you can't hear me. I'm hoping it was a possum or something. There was a lot of rustling, some footsteps maybe, but possum we're going with. If I don't know, if we get robbed on stream live, that'll be a big clip. We'll become famous. But anyway, Demon Slayer is bad. That's what we were saying, right?
Yeah, that's absolutely what we were saying. I think you should read it. You might find the final chapter interesting. I would love to get your thoughts on the final chapter compared to the rest of the manga.
I hear it's a bit of a controversial final chapter. I remember hearing that at the time.
I thought it was fine, personally. I thought it worked. Fit with the themes. Yeah. Definitely a bit odd. I imagine a bit of a leap for a lot of people. But I thought it was good. But I'm a man who loves like conclusions and closure for characters, so I like that kind of thing.
Interesting. Well, I'm no stranger to controversial endings, as it may seem. So maybe I am, because I never make videos about them. You didn't talk about this Armin scene at all, right?
No,
So
I just talked about Demon Slayer.
Yes, okay. So he yells at Mikasa, not cool. Mikasa's obviously queen, #1, much better than Armin. He shouldn't be doing that. What goes on the scene? I like his breakdown when he realizes his story, or after he's finished talking. He's like, oh, also fucking his story is in danger. What are we gonna do there? I like that Armin is asserting himself in sort of a leadership role here, and he's coming apart at the seams. And we'll see him slowly get more confident as we get into the final stretch here. And then we end with Mikasa noticing the scarf is gone.
There's one thing actually from that chapter that just jumped out
to say?
On scrolling down.
Go ahead.
And it's just this decision, and it's a really weird fucking cut where it's two halves of Armin's face split by a panel, but they're at different angles. So it just looks really fucking weird. You just
I like it. I think it's cute.
To me,
I've got it up right now.
It's just a little weird. I don't get it.
It's like a paneling thing. I don't know. I like it. But yes, it is the Historia moment I was talking about, where he realizes, oh fuck, it's even worse than we thought. But yeah.
I like that he's thinking of Niccolo.
Outside
That's
of that,
nice.
Hold on, you broke up for a little bit there.
Oh, sorry. I was saying I like that he's thinking of Niccolo. It's a nice little addition. The groups, the volunteers, the Azumabito, and Niccolo are going to be in peril.
He's got all the players on the board in his head. I think that's it. It's mostly a plot. I guess more so in this scene, we're also talking about Mikasa feeling lost. She doesn't really know what to do. Aaron's sort of handling himself. But yeah. And then we get Miller's favorite scene of all time in any manga ever, where Kaya and Gabby hug. I do like the cute little Mia's a better name than Gabby thing.
Hmm.
It's a nice little moment, isn't it?
Yeah, I liked as well that they chose to do it to make it like almost like a whisper when they hug as well in the anime. I thought that was kind of a nice little thing. Like
I
it's
did like
really,
the voice acting this scene,
it was really sort of toned. It was
particularly
really sort
for
of toned down. I think Kaya's voice actor is really solid.
yeah.
I mean, Gabby's is as well, obviously.
We remember the scream, but
Oh, yeah, we get this. We
yeah,
get the
it's
moment as
also
well.
2 pages.
Gabby's going to ride a horse again, despite never being taught.
Yeah, she figured it out. All right, she figured it out last time. Yeah, it's only 2 pages. We're jumping around a lot in this chapter now that I'm going through it slowly.
Mm-hmm.
Um, oh, then we get the little bits of censorship we did get with the flock. We can speak today with the flock stuff. His fingers aren't as fucked up as they are in the manga, and then later we don't get the jawed, blown off
Mm-hmm.
head shot from here.
Yeah,
It's gruesome. This
it's like a
fucking jaw.
shot like,
Isayama has a thing for jaws, huh?
yeah, he
Remember
really
Armin's
does.
jaw later? It's like berserking eyes. Somebody's eyes are always drooping out of their fucking head after God smacks him in the head with his massive fucking sword. That's not a euphemism.
Yeah, I think it's
But
like
yeah,
they moved where the bullet hole was as well, just to make it even better. Because like the bullet hole in the anime is
yeah,
like dead center on the hand, but there he's like the reason that his hand's so fucked up is because he's basically shot him in the knuckle, which would hurt.
yeah,
Which I mean, it would hurt either way, but that would be fucking
yeah.
grim.
It's so yucky. I don't like the fingers being bent is a weird thing for me. It happens in football all the time, and it's always gross when it happens. I don't like seeing it. Little body horror things like that are yucky.
I mean, I
I
think
did like in because
sorry, you
go
go.
ahead, go ahead. Well,
Okay.
I do the delay's fucking us a bit here. But the fuck. Now what was I gonna say? Oh, in the anime, I like it because they did censor a little bit. That was probably a decision made early. I did like they try to like replicate Flock's ruthlessness by the fact that like he shoots him 3 times in the head,
Mm-hmm.
and like the second 2 seem like entirely unnecessary. So it is like he's fucking crazy.
That's what I
So
was
I
literally
thought
about
if
to
we were
say.
gonna censor it, though. Oh wow, great minds think alike, I guess. But yeah, that was a neat inclusion. Yelena just being dead in the corner is really cool. Obviously, we'll see more of that in the next chapter when they set her and Anya Capon and a miscellaneous third guy up to be executed. I'll be very interested to that because they have like a cheering crowd there. I think that could be cool in the anime.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
There was a shot actually that I don't think's been in this that I thought was really good. Let me just scroll down just to double check. And it's the shot where it's basically the volume 31 shot with just all the colossal titans from the front view walking through it. It's a very brief. I can't remember where it happens in the episode. Do you know the scene I'm talking
the
about?
window shot.
No, there's a shot where it's just the faces of all the Colossus Titans as they're marching. I can't for the life of me remember where it happens now in the episode, but it's not in the chapter. But it's from the volume of. It's from volume 31 though. It's like the volume 31 cover.
Let
Without
me look up
Mikasa,
volume
obviously.
31 cover. Oh, I think I know which cover you're talking about. Volume 31. How come My Hero Academia comes up? Hold on. You Google volume 31, My Hero Academia comes up, then Berserk comes up, then Attack on Titan. It is a Barnes and Noble ad though, so we probably shouldn't open that.
I've
Attack
got it
on
up, yeah, but
Titan.
there's a.
Yeah.
I'll see if I can get the Funimation.
Miller's pogging in chat right now because his series came up first. I don't
It was so
remember
hard
seeing
to
this in
find.
the episode. Am I?
There was
I
definitely
remembered. I
a
remembered
moment.
the other shot. All right. But yeah.
Yeah, we know where your priorities lie, clearly.
The fuck, I don't remember this shot at all. I'm racking my brain right now. But I believe ya.
Does anyone else in
Get a
chat
source
remember?
from the sun.
I'm not
Miller
going
seems
crazy,
to
am I?
remember it too. Miller seems to be corroborating you, so I have trust. Did they do the flock this freedom? I think they did do the face justice, right? I remember talking about this last week about how boyish young fascist flock looks here.
Yeah, I mean, I think the shot
In
was
this
done
particular where he says,
justice. Like he looked a bit. I think he looked a bit more like a crazy person. I think they're gonna. I feel like they're gonna maybe exaggerate how mental Flock is. Just for the people in the back who haven't picked up, who aren't quite clear that Flock is a fascist.
I feel like the Kiyomi moment will be the ultimate anime moment of like him with a weird face as he gets slammed by this elderly Asian woman. I think there's clearly because again the only reaction I did watch was the normies, that's usually the one I go to. Um, they who are still iffy on Mr. Aaron are very anti-Flock. Oh, but I did on Crunchyroll. I did scroll down, and like the only two I saw one comment and then one reply to the comment, and then I scrolled up because I couldn't take it anymore. I think the top comment was uh, forget Gabby. All my homies hate Flock, and then the response was nah, bro. Flock's kind of based. And I was like, all right, I can scroll up now.
Oh
It's
god.
just what a wacky space we exist in. But Flock, what a fella.
God, I have
Super
no
Zerk
idea where
Dakota,
the
big
shot
fan of
is.
One
The
Piece.
the thumbnail, the preview as I hover over the bar, as I hover over the episode sort of playthrough bit, just doesn't
Yeah.
show. Funimation's bad enough as it is. Like, what is it with streaming, with manga, with anime streaming services, official ones having terrible UX design?
I feel like for video players, everything that isn't YouTube is just bad. Like the Twitch, if you've ever tried to watch a Twitch VOD in your life, you know that it's just miserable. I was doing one the other day, and you scroll
Mm,
through it, and you get an ad, and then it fucks up, and it puts you back at the beginning of the VOD, and you have to remember what fucking in this 7 hour VOD, you've got to figure out what hour and minute you were in.
yeah.
What is this nonsense? But I feel like YouTube has this shit down packed. It'll remember your place fucking 10 years later. But yes, especially official anime streaming, I do feel like even the illegal ones have like better. How is this possible? What's going on, Crunchyroll? What's going on, Mr. Funimation? I feel like Anime Lab, the one time I tried to use it, was also bad. Is Anime Lab an Australian only thing? Do you know what Anime
I've
Lab
never
is
heard
in
of Anime
Australia?
Lab. When you said that, I assumed that would be
Anime Lab
that would
might
be
be an
a piracy
Australian.
site.
Anime
Yeah.
Lab is an official site, I believe, and I believe it is free, but you can only watch it in like 480p.
Oh,
Miller,
Christ.
do we know what Anime Lab is? Funimation bought Anime Lab, Miller is saying, so it is.
I think I found the
Well,
shot.
Crunchyroll used to be an illegal site too, right? Oh, he found the shot. Should I get your stream up?
Yes.
It's loading now. Are we gonna get another ad? We probably are. Yep, world's greatest shave again. They're fighting blood cancer. We can't be mad. It's Australian, yes, Miller is saying. See, we just got all the. Why do we have all? Does every country have like its independent streaming sites?
I mean, I don't
feel
know.
like probably
the one,
the UK and America don't
I
because
don't
they're
have
like all the
my
big
own one.
ones come from there. But
Yeah, I use Crunchyroll, Funimation, and High Dive. Those are my 3 streaming sites, but they're all separate services offering different anime.
yeah, I don't know what High Dive is. So
High
Alright,
Dive
I've got
is
the
what
screen up. I can see it
Seven
now.
Seas use for their stuff. So this was a shot from the anime that wasn't in the manga, and it's a very fucking cool shot.
Yeah, I do think it's cool. You got the reds we're talking about. Sort of a sun sort of explosion thing in the background. It's cute. I like it a lot. I seriously do not remember it at all though. So
It happens like at the
watch
end
more
of like.
close the next time I get.
I think it happens at the end. Like, I mean, you can see where in terms of timeline. I think it happens
Yeah, I
right
can
at the
see
end
11 minutes 42.
of like a discussion between Annie and Hitch about like. I can't remember exactly. I think they're out.
There were a lot of
Yeah, it's during the Annie Hitch chat basically.
yeah. There are a lot of insert shots there, but cool. Were we done with this flock stuff? I think was it you or Bacon that pointed out last week how you liked how Mikasa came up the stairs. I feel like that, and it's just like what's going on here. I feel like they did that moment justice too of her
feel
just,
like that's
lost.
I feel like that's a Bacon. That was Bacon. I don't remember saying it, but then again, I don't remember a lot.
It does feel
so-
like a Bacon thing to say, now that I think about it. But yes, that was cool. I think it's all pretty good. The really interesting Flock stuff happens next chapter. I do just talking about the next chapter. I do like that Flock like realizes immediately what's happened and really can't do anything about it. I guess he has to because then he has to race to the port to beat them there.
Mm-hmm. He gets to take the train though.
They have trains.
So
Yeah. And then we've only got our final 2 scenes. I do like that they included the shot of Connie's family seeing him off. I don't know if any anime only are going to remember. I wanted to say Sonny and Bean, but those are the Titans' names. What are his brothers and
Sonny and
brother
Martin.
and sister? Right?
yeah,
Martin. Who can
Martin
forget
and
Martin? But yeah, it's cute. because people say that they're the two little titans that are like fucking with each other when they attack Utgard Castle. There's kind of some fucked up
Yeah.
potential headcanon stuff.
And Connie's dad was the one
Which is
who
cool.
Sasha rescued Kaya from.
Yes, yeah.
I think that's canonical though. I think that is canon.
Maybe. I do like that they're both like thinking, oh, better keep up appearances, but I know he's trying to fuck me right now. Well, poor choice of words. He's trying to screw me over here right now. It's a cute little dynamic. Falco isn't an idiot. Connie might be an idiot, but he's got this thought out at least a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Oh well, not really, because he can't go through with it. But
so
the Connie stuff, I like it.
Presumably Falco would remember Connie from the airship. Yeah, that's like what he's thinking of specifically. That's the moment he's thinking of. Because it was Gabby who saw. No, it was Gabby saw Sasha when she shot the gate guard. I was wondering if that could also be the moment, but no, it was just from their time on the airship.
Maybe if you stretch it, he saw somebody flying overhead and caught Connie's face, but it's probably from the airship. I forgot this detail. If we move on to the next scene real quick, because I scrolled down accidentally, I forgot the detail that they did have like rescue ships, but they left beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
And McGarth and Pieck talk about that at the beginning of this scene, where they're like, "Oh," and then McGarth is like, "Actually, it's good because then they can notify Marley that this is all happening." I assume they're moving faster than the rumbling. But yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I would assume so.
I don't know how fast blimps move. I've never really thought about how fast a blimp moves, so I have no idea. This again, if we're talking about kinetic panels, the panel of like Pieck rushing towards Hanji, I feel like it was. I like this shot better than how they did in the anime. The anime, it felt like she came too close, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas in the manga, it looks like she kind of just turns around and yells. It seems like in the anime, she does like a bit of a jog over to her, and it's like, oh. It feels like Pieck is a little bit more like reactionary. Is that a word we want to use?
I guess. I think I understand what you're saying. I notice as well that McGath already has his gun out in the panel where Pieck sort of threatens Angie, but we get that little animation of him pulling the gun out in the anime.
Yeah. Oh, another thing.
I've just scrolled down and noticed. Look how fucked up in the picture where Hanji's facing us. Look how weird their hands look.
Like in this one? Yeah.
Where they're like, just don't eat me, okay, I'm unarmed. It's the thing between thumb and index. It's really weird.
Maybe she's got big fucked up hands. Who knows? But yeah, it is kind of weird. What do you call this? Like the thumb bulge that's actually on your hand. They're so thick. Look at these things. I'm looking at mine now. It's not that. Doesn't protrude that much. Maybe I got normal thumbs. But anyway, I felt like I was gonna say something beforehand. But I like they also did this pretty well, pretty justice in the anime where Hanji just sort of appears behind them and like sneaks up on them. That's kind of cute. Very Hanji thing to do. She's into the Titans and stuff. But yes, this cliffhanger that Levi is indeed alive. I feel like everybody had figured it out by this point, but it is cute.
I wonder if people have clocked that he has
chapter
lost his fingers already, or if that will come as a huge shock. Because like the anime earlier, they explicitly showed a couple of fingers separated.
Yeah.
But I wonder if they'll still get the shock when because Levi is just going to hold his hand up and there's going to be 2 missing fingers in the next chapter.
Well, I feel like they kind of televised it, showed it. You know what I'm trying to say. I really do like if I skipped over the next chapter now at the beginning of Pride. I really do like the Hanji, especially the Hanji shot where she's killing scouts and she's very sad about it. And like the little Hanji Levi rom-com we get for about 10 pages. I also forgot that the reason why Levi even kind of survived is because he like jumped on top of his sword to like nullify the damage. That's kind of cute.
Oh shit, yeah. I was scrolling down earlier having a look and I was like, what is that shot? It's really weird. And then I was like, oh, he jumps on his...
I think it's really fucking cool, actually.
I think the anime will do it. I think the anime will do a good job with that.
Yeah, it's like on the verge of like people could call it like cringe or whatever, or like came out of nowhere or impossible. I think it's fucking cute as fuck.
Also, we've
Um,
got this shot that everyone's sort of hoping. I saw Reddit saying they better not do our boy dirty with this shot, with the shot before when he gets up and you can see like all his back muscles and everything. You want to scroll up a
oh
bit.
yeah,
It's when he wakes up.
I
When
am the
Hans
back
is
guy, just not for male backs though. So
there.
doesn't do anything for me. But if you want to see it, you want to see it.
I mean,
Sometimes they do fuck us over with the muscles, right?
yeah, he
This is
looks
like a
fucking
historic thing.
ripped. Because I think people were complaining back in like season 1 or something when he was getting his arm patched up after his
It
run-in
was
with Kenny.
season 3. It was season 3, part 1,
Oh,
where
yeah,
Sasha
season
is
3.
in the
Sorry,
manga.
yeah.
She's like half blushing as she's
Did I think season
taping him
1?
up. What do you call it? Yeah,
Uh,
you did say season 1.
Yeah, I meant
Um,
season 3, part 1. Yeah, where she's like stitching him up and Levi's just sat there fucking shredded completely.
yeah, I remember the complaining about that. What a weird change. Why would you change that? But
I
anyway,
just don't think they had
her
that scene
stitching
at
his
all.
face up.
I don't think they had that scene at
I
all of
feel
Levi
like,
being patched up. I think part of it
yeah,
is because of how they reorganize things, so the Kenny attack happens differently in.
yeah. Season 3,
Uh,
part 1. What a weird thing that was. But the getting his face stitched up. That's got to be when I cut my hand and the numbing shit didn't fucking work because it was bleeding out of my hand and they had to stitch up my hand. Man, that was not a fun time. I'll tell you what. You can
yeah.
feel it like digging in on your face in the
Hmm.
woods. Yikes!
Yeah.
Yikes! Yikes! Yikes!
I've
I'm
got
getting
the.
secondhand memory pain, especially when it's on his eye a little bit here. Yikes! Yikes!
Well, she's
Yikes!
basically stitching his
Do
eye
not.
shut, effectively.
Yeah. Well, I think that eye is gone, right? That's part of it, right? He's missing an eye, or at
I
least
think
maybe it's
so.
just because of the stitch up that he's.
What is he? What is
Yeah,
he
because
in
if
the
the
fight?
metal went into his eye a little bit there,
In
maybe
the
it's not
final
falling
in the
out, but it's
final
just still
chapter,
fucked up.
what do we see? What do we see in the final chapter? Because we see him
Well, he's
without
in a
his.
wheelchair. I think he's just got one eye closed. That's what Guts has, and he's missing an eye. Levi
Uh,
is Guts? Question mark.
no, I think he has the
Um.
eye open, but I think it's just like blank. Like, I'll get it up on screen. Here we go.
Yeah. All right.
Oh, I need
I'll
to-
leave it to you. What fuck?
You getting the
I was
warning?
enough to say something, but I forgot. Huh? What warning?
Were you getting the laptop warning there, or was that something else?
Oh no.
Okay, yeah, I've got it up. So we've got. I think he's got his eye open there.
It is coming soon though. I'm loading the screen up, and I did get the ad for the third time.
Just keep it
alright?
going. Keep the tab
Oh,
muted or
we'll see.
something.
Yeah, I don't know why I close it every time.
Next time I'll run a mid-roll ad
Fuck,
so you
there
can
was
at least. Or you could subscribe to support the
so,
channel.
Definitely. I'm not joking. Don't tell YouTube. I literally have $1.40 in my bank account right now, so I couldn't even afford a subscription if I wanted to. I should
But
subscribe to Mr. R when I.
Someone gifts Kyle a
think I get paid,
subscription
like,
to my
tomorrow.
channel.
That's the compromise we're all waiting for. But
Listen, I've got 2 viewers right now. Kyle's got 9. One of you guys give that
did
sub.
yeah, one of you get over there. Did you see my idea about how I probably won't stream the reread stuff, but I think you should, so we can get some of these idiots over there.
I mean, maybe I was actually thinking of
level.
stopping doing streams when we do this and just doing the recording because, like, to be honest, I think it's kind of it's messing with my stream averages and I can't really speak to chat very much.
Yeah.
So I think it's easier for me to just record it and not stream it.
Yeah.
If I'm being honest, I'm happy for
then
you to
nobody
be
would
the
be,
stream host, and I'll just record in future.
For my idea with the for the reread recording, we're actually talking about secret things that YouTube won't understand because things haven't been cancelled yet. But I think the battery will last longer, and I think that those reread discussions will go on for a little while. So I think I won't stream those no matter what. So if nobody streams them, it doesn't matter at all. I feel like I had something else to say about Levi's face stitches, but
Yeah.
Oh, I was just going to say it reminds me of there's that scene in The Last of Us 2 where Ellie stitches up her own arm, and then I think Dina comes in and finishes it for her. But that's another scene where I'm like, ooh, secondhand pain. I know how that feels. It's not fun, but
There you go. The ad should have finished.
that
by
being
now.
said, I think we. Yeah. Oh fuck yeah! I'm supposed to be checking that. Yeah. Is that eye open and it's just white? I think so.
I think it is because I think that
It's not an eyelid.
thicker black
'cause look, he's
line
got
is
yeah.
his
Yeah,
his
yeah,
eye
yeah.
is like his eyelid because it's the same on his other eye. So yeah, Levi has just lost that. As just that eye is just like it's gone.
if you, like, get stabbed in the eye, does your pupil, like, go away? Or
I
is
don't
it
think so. I think that's just an artistic choice. Also, look at how just reminding
Yeah,
everyone
that's what
how
I'm
cute
assuming.
Gabby and Falco are as teenagers. Look at Falco. Look at
Yes,
this
they
boy. Look at this lad. This fine
Wait, who does
gentleman.
Falco look exactly like? I'm getting, like, a flash to something else right now, and it's not Colt, it's not that obvious. No, scroll back down to the, to the older gentlemanly close-up of their face. He looks I feel like it's like a Yu-Gi-Oh card or something. He looks exactly like something, like his face shape.
Yeah, it definitely reminded me of something, but I can't quite get it. I can't quite put my finger on it.
You ever been into Yu-Gi-Oh? Or am I completely off on my Yu-Gi-Oh potentiality?
No, you're not. I mean, maybe. I honestly don't know.
I feel
There's
like it's
something
like a
about it that's
pose.
familiar. Maybe I need to do reverse image search on
We're
this
never
or
gonna place
something.
it. I should just. Yes, but I think are we done here? We've dipped over into the next what do you call it? Fucking chapter. That's what these things are called.
Yeah.
Next week will be the Alliance thing. Let's see if there's a similar freak out about how it happened too quickly or something.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't
That'll
realize that
be
the Alliance thing all happened in the next chapter as well. It's a lot. There's a lot. Again, a lot of stuff to cover.
Yes. The I believe from the things Minty told me that he'll correct me on later when I say something wrong. Is that this is the chapter? Not chapter. Episode 8, which is next, should end with the. It should just be one chapter. It should end with the let's go save the world thing, and then after that, apparently not even the leakers know what the fuck is going on with this Attack on Titan season. So we do get another one chapter thing, though this chapter is maybe the most dense chapter in the entire manga. A lot happens here. Now, part of the effect is at the end that we don't see the setup to a lot of the things of like everybody getting stolen away by Piek or things like that, and that gets revealed in like the next chapter. But yeah, next chapter should be a hell of a one. It's one of my more favorite ones.
Next chapter we get to see Louise die, so that's.
Yeah.
Because, like, Mikasa just doesn't give a fuck.
Oh, this flock one. Yeah, she doesn't. This flock panel is the one that I can't remember what video I used this in. I think it might be Core Themes, but I've stared at this panel too much in the editing bay. But
and we get the pie as well. The best moment in manga in anime.
Oh shit! I accidentally minimized, but I did just get the first battery thing. But I think we're wrapping things up anyway. But yes, next week should be an interesting one. We'll see how the anime onlys react, see if there's a similar backlash. We'll see how they do it. It'll all be interesting things. But is that it from us? Got anything final to say?
End on Annie eating the pie. I don't know if there's anything final. Again, it was a weird sort of episode. Kind of like it's like a filler. Yeah. It's like both a filler episode, but also nothing in Attack on Titan is actually filler. But I think it's just because we've been so used to the holy shit moments and the action. So
yeah, it's definitely a more what do you call it? Calmer chapter, a more smaller plot lines being resolved. We're not rushing to beat up Eren or anything. But yeah. With that being said. Thank you for joining us, Twitch audience. Thank you for joining us, YouTube audience. There should be I think. Oh my God! You remember last week when I said something about killing something or someone if this fucking top 10 list wasn't out by the time we were doing this right now? Yikes! That being said, the top 10 list should be out literally tomorrow. It might be out in the coming hours once you're hearing this on YouTube, since this fucking thing takes an hour to export and then 2 hours to upload and then nightmares. But this goddamn motherfucking top 10 list should be out. And then after that, it should be 2 Attack on Titan videos. So we got some announcements for the YouTube people who aren't aware. Twitch chat already knows about the announcements, but YouTube audience, you'll have to stick and wait. So look forward to that in the future. Go subscribe to Mr. R. And maybe Bacon, though he wasn't here today. Whatever. We might be joined by Elite RE next week, or coming into the future. We'll have to see about that. We want to get him on our reread panel, which Mr. R will be joining us for as well. Though we haven't announced that yet. That's hidden Twitch knowledge that YouTube doesn't know about our official reread. But I guess I just spoiled it then. But so we want to get him into the mix, see how he flows with us, get him acquainted with everybody. So those are all interesting things to look forward to coming up. But with that being said, YouTube audience. Support links in the description below.